Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Tardis Talks. I hope you're all doing very well indeed. We're here to talk about Ncuti Gatwa because apparently, according to some YouTubers out there, he's being fired. Um, and as John has rightly pointed out in the chat there, they said the same about Millie Gibson, and that didn't transpire. But I do want to get my panelists' opinion on it. Now, I'll only be on for about 45 minutes. Cheryl has actually left the country. She's gone home to see her parents for 3 weeks. Don't worry, nothing's happened, just in case anybody thinks that's happened. No, she's gone over to see her parents for 3 weeks and to do some paperwork and all of that, little bits and pieces, all of that nonsense. But she's gone for 3 weeks. So I don't know how I'm going to handle this because we haven't been apart this long. So it's going to be unusual. And Ted, see, I'm on doggy duty now. See, Cheryl normally does all of that. So I'm doing multiple things. So I'm actually busy. He's moping around the place. She's only gone since this morning. You think she's gone fucking months the way he's carrying on. So I have to give him all my attention. So this will be as I said, 40. Well, we won't need to really talk that long about this anyway, this topic, but it will be interesting to see what the panelists have to say on it. Me personally, just before I get them on, where I stand with it is this. If you are going to be firing someone, well, then you're firing the wrong person. In my opinion, the person you should be firing is RTD, not Ncuti Gatwa. Again, I just want to make this point that Doctor Who has tried to diversify itself over the last few years, as we know. And Jodie Whittaker didn't get a fair whip, right, because of the showrunner. And it looks like the same thing is going to happen at the Ncuti. I mean, we can already see it with Ncuti anyway, that RTD is the hindrance to Ncuti, not Ncuti being a hindrance to himself. Now, do I think he's fired? I think it's bullshit, to be quite honest with you. Because, if there's no decision made on season 3, why would you be making the decision to sack Ncuti Gatwa if you don't even know if season 3 is going to get the green light? It makes no sense to me. But if there is a casualty in this, if they do decide to blame someone, it will be Ncuti. He'll be the one that will take the fall for RTD. But let's bring on the panelists and let's see what they have to say about. And we have a full panel. But as I said, Lee popped in the other day. Lee, if you're listening, I don't know if you are, I have the link ready to go. So if you're in the chat, I'll put the link in the chat, and then you're more than welcome to come on. But as I said, we'll be only here for another 40 minutes, so I'll get on my panelists ASAP. So let's start off with the one and only Queen.
Hello, everybody.
And there she is. And then, of course, we got the one and only PD Rich.
Howdy ho.
Oh, they all sound depressed. Let's see if Cinnamon Toast Crunch is a bit more cheerful there now.
He's smiling.
Well, he's fake smile,
He's in pain inside.
Yeah. Right, let's get straight into it. Well, we're all going to be on antidepressants after this stream, I reckon. Anyway,
watch your balls, buddy. Watch your balls on them things.
That's it. Yeah, they shrink. Anyway, let's get straight into this topic. So, Mr. H Reviews, not Mr. to get confused by the lefty numpty in England. This is an Australian fella called Mr. H Reviews, I think he's called.
I think he's a Brit, isn't he?
A Brit.
I don't know. He sounded like an Australian to me. I don't know.
He's a Brit. I could be
wrong.
Yeah, he's British.
Right. Is he British? Right, well, he's
like
not the twat that we know, but he's a different one. Anyway, he's reporting that Ncuti Gatwa has been fired. And I would like to get, you've obviously heard my opinion on it, short and sweet, actually. we'll obviously get into it a bit more as the conversation goes on. But Charlotte, I'll start with you. I mean, there was persistent rumours, obviously, with Whittaker. There hasn't, in fairness, there hasn't been those persistent rumours with Ncuti. But since season 1 has aired and it hasn't gone exactly the way that people hope, there has been rumours of, Millie being fired. Now we've got this whole thing on Ncuti. What do you think is happening here? Do you think he is fired, or do you think, as we spoke about last week, no decision has been made on Series 3, so why would they be making a decision on Ncuti?
If people remember, I said on last week's stream, I said I think Ncuti's out. Because for me, the way he's been talking, the way he's been carrying himself in interviews, he's been very, I don't know about my future. I don't know of him in Series 3. Those sort of comments, sort of almost like he's already setting up his stall that he might not be there, is the impression I've been getting for months and months about Ncuti, if I'm being honest. That's why I said last week, I do think he's going to be the change that they're going to do for Series 3. Because Russell is, I agree with you, he should be the one to go completely. He's the root of pretty much 95% of the problems. But Ncuti has caused some himself. Yeah. I think it's unfair to say it's all Russell. He's a big chunk of that. I'm not denying that. But Ncuti chose to come out in interviews before anybody'd seen an episode and told people to touch grass. Ncuti chose to be very confrontational, to talk about gammons, to talk about topic areas which would have made people go, I'm not even going to watch you now, basically, before anybody sort of had seen an episode. So he'd already been that sort of, like I said, that sort of, he wasn't welcoming to fans when it came to the proper press when Series 1 started to do the big interviews for it. And I think that was some of the reason why the viewing figures weren't so good. There was other reasons, but I think Ncuti contributed towards that. But the bigger thing for me is he's been giving me signals, if that's the right word, or the way he's been talking anyway. I think two things have happened, honestly. I'm gonna keep to what I said last week. I said he's gone for Series 3, and I still think that. But I think there's two options here. I think he's walked because he doesn't like how controlling Russell is. And he has alluded to that in his interviews as well. He has alluded to his choices being told no and him being sort of driven into a certain manner with his doctor. I think he's probably seen how his doctor hasn't been sort of received with an open sort of applause from the whole fandom. I would say, if you're being honest, Ncuti's doctor's got a very mixed reaction at the moment. Yeah. I think there's people that love him, there's people that hate him, and there's people, I think, like me and you and a few others who can see a good doctor in there, who can see what this actor could do if he's given the freedom. And if he's not given terrible scripts which damage his character in multiple occurrences. I think he's not a Tennant who's a sort of runaway success. He's not an Eccleston who maybe there was a few murmurings and then we got to quite love his doctor by the end of that first series with him. He's not a Matt who sort of had a lot to prove and then proved it. He's had a real mixed reception. So I think the sort of the producer end of it, the people who are thinking, right, we need to change, we need to shift something here, he's going to be the casualty. But a bit of me thinks, I think there's a good argument here that he's not been fired. I think he could have walked. He could have just seen sort of the way the production was being handled, seen how Russell was handling it, and basically been told possibly by an agent or somebody on his sort of circle, get out. This is not going to do you good long term to stay in this role. You need to get out. But the thing that I do find interesting, and why I think there's some possible credence to the Mr. H stuff, because I watched his whole video, there are certain bits of it which actually Ncuti's said himself as to possible reasons. This smoking on set, I can't remember what interview it was, but I don't know if Ncuti or Russell, can't remember who, basically said, yeah, he got told off for that. That he got told that when you're in costume, when you're on set in costume, you cannot be smoking. You can't
location, yeah.
You're in character. You have to act like the character. So you can't be smoking. You can't be effing and blinding. You can't be sort of doing certain things on set. And that's a part of this rumor that basically his conduct, from my understanding, what Mr. H said, or more what the intel or the source told him, is his conduct on set was damaging to the production. And that I could see possibly that being the very true here. Because as much as I think I can defend Ncuti in some bits and not attack him completely, I think you have to admit he has not taken a lot of grace with this role. He's not seemingly understood that there's a mantle sort of thing with this. There's a legacy with this. You're the Doctor. That means something. That means a lot actually to kids, to the fans. And you have to have that in mind when you carry yourself, whether that's on set, whether that's in interviews, whether that's outside of the role. You have to be more careful than other roles. And I honestly think Ncuti's shown a bit of lacking of care in that regard. So that I could buy that part of the rumor, but I don't buy, and this is what my sort of other side to it. If, and it's a big if he's been fired, it will not just be because he had a couple of cigarettes on set. It won't be, oh, he might have had a couple of Fs and blinds in front of kids or whatever it was. If he's been fired, it will be a lot more complicated. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's more of a personal thing with Russell if he's got fired. Because I think Russell is petty. I think he doesn't like when people say no to him. I think he probably thought Ncuti would be a good little puppy and do whatever he wanted and not question anything. And maybe, obviously this wasn't part of the rumour, this is now me fully in speculation mode, maybe Ncuti did start to question him. Maybe he did start to look at stuff in the scripts and go, what's this? Even by all accounts, Whittaker started to do that in her run. She started to question stuff that was in her scripts.
Well, Russell doesn't seem to have any problems questioning Ncuti, because every idea Ncuti's ever brought to the board, Russell's always gone, no, sorry, we're doing something else.
Yeah, true.
And that's why I think that
we're doing something else.
Yeah, so that's my point. The two bits of the rumor, and this is what I'll sort of finish with, that sort of track with me and make sense, is the behavior on set, because he has alluded to that, or Russell, so I can't remember which one it was in the interview, and the possibility that him and Russell have fallen out. Because you look at how protective Russell was of him in that first round of interviews, and he's not as protective anymore. And I just think, as Cinnamon said, we know Ncuti has tried to make parts of this role his own, and Russell has shot that down. So Russell, to me, the more I hear about Russell, honestly, also if you think about the Christopher Eccleston comments we've now had surface in the last couple of years about working on that set with Russell and everybody there, he talked about how it was all very chummy and it was all very cliquey. And if you didn't basically follow the program, you were out. Like, that was the atmosphere of that set. So I can't help. That's what makes me think, have they had is the falling out bit true? Is this idea of them being at loggerheads true? And possibly that's what's got Ncuti out the door, because Russell can't stand anybody challenging him. And it takes a lot for him to admit his faults. And I don't think he would I don't think I think he's having to admit some faults now because of cold, hard sort of facts. But I can't see how Russell would react kindly to an actor, especially somebody of Ncuti who he's at the beginning of his career. He's not a Tennant. I think Tennant could possibly say stuff to Russell and sort of question stuff because he's got a name now. He's David Tennant. Ncuti, no. So I can't help but think, has Ncuti questioned Russell? Has he fought Russell on certain things? And that's maybe why either he's walked of his own accord or maybe Russell has pushed him out. So that's sort of my feelings about the rumour and what I think could be happening more in the largest picture here.
Cinnamon.
Yeah, everything Charlotte says pretty much. I mean, I've only really heard this, what was it, a couple of days ago? Not even that. I saw it briefly. I'm aware of Mr. H, going by what people have told me though, and some of the things he said. Other things, I think PD will know.
Yes,
but
Phoebe,
I don't know. Take it with a grain of salt, I suppose. But who knows? Maybe it's. I mean, it's a bit again. Not to get off topic, but it's semantics, isn't it? It could be. Well, was it an actual firing? Was he sacked? Was it a mutual, contract termination? Because that's a thing in football. What's the difference between a full-on sacking and a mutual mutual consent determining the contract? Maybe they think, oh, maybe I would like to try something else, and Russell's maybe like, oh, okay, well, we could live without you. Again, it's all really a speculation, and gossiping about possible dramas that possibly may or may not even exist. Like Charlotte said, we were one of those people that we can see something in there. There's quality. I mean, hell, wasn't I and like a few other people saying there's potential to be the next Tom Baker? I know that was a bit far fetched, possibly looking back now, but the optimism was there. There was potential. Every doctor's got potential really to really take it. And on the point there about every opportunity he's brought, if he's the doctor now, then surely shouldn't you take some of his ideas on board? And I don't mean just the few small things that you can like small enough idea I'm sure we can squeeze in. No, he's obviously got an idea of what his doctor wants to look like. That was his idea. That's his own. He's gone away and maybe thought, well, what would I be comfortable wearing? What am I going to be happy wearing for a long time? Because he's obviously got some baseline idea of what the doctor is. It's interesting because Charlotte said something like, well, I'm paraphrasing, you'll probably tell me yourself, but he said something along the lines of that he doesn't quite understand the role, which is funny because I've watched a lot of his interviews, and it's weird because in some instances it seems like he gets it, and in others he doesn't. Like I don't know, it's just his body language, the way he is. He sort of treats it like it's just some like fashion accessory to wear, and then in other times it's like, oh no, this is like a serious. He'll bang on about, oh no, it's a British icon and all that. He'll give all the spiel. Whether he's reading off a script, I don't know. But he talks about it in one breath and then seems to be quite, he wears it like a costume. Oh, I'm Doctor Who, instead of like, no. He's like, Doctor Who's me or whatever, instead of him being the Doctor. But we've had that discussion. I don't know, but like I say, there's potential there. The most potential there still is, but again, 2 seasons isn't particularly long, is it? I mean, at least, when we were talking about, let's break the 3-season out rule, usually that means by staying longer, not like by being shorter. It's just a weird one. It's not particularly great. I mean, we've just finished the first season and already we're getting rumours of leaving. Again, first million. Now it just seems. I'm looking at it now. There's a poster of me wall of both Millie there and Ncuti, and there was quite a lot of excitement from me. There was a whole new rebrand, a new logo. Again, we got the new logo a day afterwards. It's almost like, and I said at the time, like, it's almost like they couldn't wait to get rid of the old one. It's like, oh wow, this is it now. The fresh, the new, and okay, yeah, the 60th and the actual episodes we've got have been mixed. Some people like them, like me. Some people thought, oh, well, that's a bit disappointing. I thought they were going to be better than that. But there's a big change. Hyped it up. Oh yeah, it's Doctor Who for the next generation. Disney's on board now, and you just feel like all that goodwill and all that excitement and all that build up, and this is a new generation. And that so far as to go that no, this isn't series 14, although we call it that. The kind of slightly backpedaled that and said, oh no, you can call it what you want if you want to call it. But if you go on the iPlayer, they broke it up. They've not put it as in the 2005 to 2024.
No, it's its own category.
Now it's its own little new Doctor Who, and they keep banging on about. Banging on about you don't have to watch the previous. You don't have to watch Doctor Who before to get it. Although they say that, yet the very first episode, the Starbase, is very continuity reliant. It kind of, literally, if you've got an info dump right at the beginning of this episode, you've got the characters having to explain what happened 15 years ago or something. And I'm sorry, but the 60th anniversary is a terrible place to start. I feel bad actually because there's genuinely people out there who watched that as their first episode, particularly Americans that maybe have heard of Doctor Who but never really gotten around to maybe watching it and thought, oh well, I've got Disney Plus. Oh, that's on Disney Plus now. I've heard people talk about it, so I'll watch it, and then that's the one they start off with. So it was odds. So it wasn't. If anything, if I'm being honest, Church and Ruby Road was probably a better episode.
It was.
Because at least then it's a sort of clean slate within reason. It's just. But anyway, I'm getting off topic, but again. I'm not to sort of say like, oh, there's something there, but it's interesting, isn't it? How even we've had Noel Clarke even saying his own words that he actually preferred working with Chris than David, and he worked with David longer, and that whole crew. So it's interesting that he preferred him because to me, Noel Clarke and Christopher Eccleston seem fairly similar in their mindset. Obviously, different backgrounds, different people, grown up in different back lives, but they seem quite down to earth people to me. To be honest, they seem like hardworking people. They seem like people who just get on with it and don't act the big I am. To be honest, I don't really see Christopher really bigging himself up. Okay, and others, does he charge? Well, it depends on whether he does charge it or whether the organisers charge it. I think, but. Is it making him Comic-Con can be expensive? And is he a little bit too honest? Probably, yeah. Okay, yeah, you are there to earn money, but probably best not to say that, even if it is the truth. But you know what I mean? That's the difference you get. You've got him there who will be brutally honest. And again, Noel Clarke has always struck me as someone who's honest. And then there's other people who you think, well. You look like you're playing to the gallery. You look like you're just saying that because you have to, or just because you have to look good. Or because, I'll be out of work if I don't go along with it. It is how it is now. Like Daniel says there, the franchise is nothing more than a stick. But it's all that goodwill, like I said, all that goodwill, all that optimism from me. It's about still there. I will look forward to the second season, but I won't be listening to any more of Russell because I'm sick of it now. He just annoys me. At the next time he said, "Oh my god,
everyone
you're gonna die! Oh my god, you can't wait for season 2, episode 4." There's a scene that's gonna rock your boat. It's gonna send you wild. I'm just gonna.
Yeah.
It worked maybe 10 years ago. It worked before.
I don't know, man. It's like someone said it in the comment section. I forget who it was, but they said it was like RTD was self-sabotaging, and this is what it feels like to me. It actually feels deliberate. I don't know.
I think Russell's finding it hard to keep track of what he's saying to himself nowadays.
Oh, yeah.
It's like he says
that could be
something in one interview, and then it's like he forgets he said it, and then he says something else.
But that's not very good, though, is it, though, Charlotte? If you think about it, man, this is a showrunner of supposed to be one of the top franchises out there, and he can't even remember what he's saying in different interviews. He just, as Cinnamon says, he just needs to shut up. Just shut up and write your stuff. Nobody cares if you've written the best thing since sliced bread. Just let us make that decision. That's not up to you. It might be great to you, but it could be crap to the rest of us. I mean, 73 yards, wasn't it? He told us all to look out for. Was it that one? Did he say 73 yards? Yeah. And to be quite honest with you, the first half was decent enough. I mean, when they left the village and then they went into the city, it then went to shite. But you know, it wasn't the best thing you've done. You've done better in season one. You're forced there, but he's bigging these things up and they're not even delivering. You should just shut up. Just be quiet. I mean, if Ncuti is gone,
that's it.
Right, I agree with Charlotte. He walked. He didn't get fired. I say he walked because
that's honestly what more my feeling is here.
Yeah, I yes, there was a big deal made out of it when he was seen with a cigarette. I even complained as well. I mean, I will stick to that. He is a role model, and you can't be seen to be smoking. But I gave him not a pass as such. I still gave out about it, but I says I wasn't going to hold him to that. But if RTD has done and held him to those standards, and that's one of the reasons why he's oust them. Let's say he is fired. Then I think that's absolutely disgraceful. To be quite honest with you, I don't think that's a reason to fire your lead actor. Okay, it was a mistake.
That's why, honestly, no. If I think that's what. I'm trying to think how I word this now. I think there's a real bigger reason if he's fired, and that's the cover story. That his conduct wasn't right on set. That's your cover story, when underneath there's actually a lot more going on.
He probably has had a falling out with RTD.
On his Instagram. I saw on his Instagram that he posted on his Instagram story something about an orgasm. It was just something orgasm. It was something to do. It wasn't about. I don't know. It was weird.
But in fairness, have to. But his Instagram is his private page. I do get it. Look, Jinx Monsoon doing those podcasts was disgusting, because of the stuff that you were talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ncuti, it is his private Instagram. I suppose, though, I will say this. We've probably said it, in the age of social media, this is new because not all doctors are on social media. Let's be honest about it. So, Jodie wasn't on any social media, as far as I know.
I think he's the first doctor we've had, actually, that's properly been on
social media. So this is new to us. So, yeah, maybe they're learning along the way. But I would agree with you that sort of adult content should be kind of toned down because you are the lead actor of a family. And remember, the key word here is family TV show. So, yeah, but would that be another reason to fire him? I think they're kind of shabby little reasons, to be honest with you. Now, if he was doing a barrowman and took his little Ncuti out and start whacking people with a different story, he'd have to be kicked out. You know what I mean? You couldn't allow that to happen, or any sort of behaviour like that. But I don't think Ncuti's that type of person. I mean, he's been on other sets. He was on the Barbie set. There was no complaints or anything. I just say what's probably happened here is Daddy RTD is not happy with him because Ncuti pushed back a little bit. And if that's the case, if you listen to what Eccleston has said in the past about him, well, if you push back against RTD, let's be honest, your days are kind of numbered. PD from a TV, because you're obviously in the TV industry. Well, you're in the industry, the entertainment.
I'm a bit like
industry.
Simon. I'm more in theatre, but I know a lot about TV.
But what do you think by listening to what you've heard so far?
Well,
what is your opinion on it?
I'm seeing this from a different angle, Noel. I have a feeling that BBC Drama can't afford another season of Doctor Who, really, and everything, and he's been paid off. That's what I'm thinking about. It's just because the way it's going. I mean, I know Disney don't want a third season. They're like, we're out. That's probably where H got it from. And it's just, to me, it looks like BBC Studios subcontracted it, so they're just a middleman in this one. But I think BBC Drama can't afford another series. I think they're too damaging and too detrimental. BBC Drama, like, even they could afford one, and like, no, we can't. We're not going to do another series. The brand's been damaged too much. So
well, they did say, didn't they say, because I remember when the 60th came out, they said that they weren't throwing all the money into that. That all the money would and the focus would be thrown into Ncuti's fourth season. They were expecting this to be better. Now, if they have actually spent, say, a huge amount of the budget on the fourth season, which I doubt, I say they've probably spread it over the 2 seasons.
Before Disney,
you know what I mean? But, do you know what I mean? They've blown the majority of the budget, and you're saying now, well, Disney's having cold feet now, and BBC is kind of BBC Studios panicking because they can't afford it, and that's why probably Ncuti is. But but hold on, if that's the case, then what do you think is going to happen with Doctor Who? Then do you think they'll bring it back to BBC Studios and hire a cheaper actor? Is that what you're saying, or do you think they'll sell it?
They've got to wait. They've got to wait until the Bad Wolf contract expires to bring it back into the under BBC Studios a license ship. I'll call it license ship, even though they're subcontracted. They've got to wait for the license to return to them before they can do anything. Move it to BBC Camera or one of the other BBC studios to make it. But
do you not think RTD's Bad Wolf Studios will step up, though? I mean, okay, they got the Disney. If Disney decide not to go ahead with it, I mean, BBC Studios still have a deal with Bad Wolf. You mean to tell me that RTD would actually just pull the plug on it, even though he's the one that came back and, you know what I mean?
Don't think RTD would pull the plug. I think BBC Studios would just not commission another series. I mean, that's what it is. BBC Drama doesn't order a series and to BBC Studios to tell Bad Wolf to make it, then, it's stuck, Well,
I'll tell you what's interesting, PD, because you're talking about studios. As part of this rumour, another name has been mentioned as basically a possible replacement or somebody they could be looking at.
Yeah, they could carry on with someone else, but
I'm trying to remember his name, Tyrone, and I can't think of his surname. But what's interesting is he has worked for BBC Studios, this actor.
Yeah.
So he has got links with BBC.
Yeah. But the thing is Bad Wolf have got the contract for another 2 or 3 years. But if BBC One says we're not commissioning any more episodes, no, it's done, then Bad Wolf have just got this contract for 2 years to make nothing. They just take the money and walk away. That's normally how it works. Yeah, it's a weird process.
Also, just to do with what you're saying to do with buying out, as part of this rumour, apparently Ncuti's contract has been bought out.
Yeah, I understand it. They want to make another series. BBC has.
But see, here's the thing. They're focusing on the wrong fucking person here. I'm sorry, but I have to say something here, right?
No, they are.
You can't be all the time, right? Because they did the same with Jodie, right? Of course, Chibs decided to go, but the BBC wanted Chibs to stay. Remember that? They were going to sacrifice fucking Jodie Whittaker and keep Chibs, and it seems to be the same fucking here. Let's sacrifice Ncuti Gatwa, but not address the fucking problem that's at hand. The problem
the BBC.
Is RTD.
They will address an issue, not a problem. Yeah, look at the moment with Hugh Edwards. I mean, Tim Davies making all the excuses. Going to Parliament, Davies making all the excuses under the sun. He's the one who caused this. So they want to keep Davey. Oh, yeah, keep Davey. And it's like you've had so many scandals on the Tim Davey. It's unbelievable. The guy should be thrown off the bloody roof by now, proverbially. But you know what I mean? It's like Jesus, But it's a mentality.
But this is another reason why I'd say to actors, as we would call them, diversity hires. This is why these actors and actresses have to be very careful, right?
Yeah,
if these studios are just going to use you to get people in the door, and then when it doesn't work out, you're the guys that are sacrificed.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not Jodie Whittaker's biggest fan. You know that, right? You absolutely know it. But the biggest problem with that era wasn't her. It was fucking Chibnall. And they could have pulled the plug on Chibnall after season 1. It was that fucking bad, right?
I think he was locked into a 5-year contract. No, he was locked into a 5-year contract, like Moffat and Davis was. So They
And
don't
now
want to
it's
break
history.
contracts because they might sue them.
And now it's history repeating itself again.
Exactly, yeah.
You know, listen, as I said, shoot, we still have a long way to go for me.
Carrying on that, mate. Russell's probably got a 5-year contract along with the license. They've got Bad Wolf having it for 5 years.
Well, then logically, then the thing that will happen then is this: is the show won't be cancelled, but it'll be put on hiatus until this contract runs out.
Yeah, that's what I think's happened. I think they're going.
And then BBC then will decide whether they're going to say in the 2 years from now, right? Because if you think about it, right, it's no skin off their nose, right? Because think about it, right? We're gonna have the Christmas special coming up, right? Then next year we're going to have season 2, possibly the spin-off as well. Sure, then 2026 then, right? It's already, if you think about it logically, it's had the 2-year break because season 1 and 2 were kind of filmed back to back. So
they've got content for the next couple of years, easy, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, you know, they could easily say, look, the show's not coming back till such and such a time. See how it comes back. But look, I think this will be a blessing in disguise. What I'd say to BBC and BBC Studios, though, is this time, you want that show to really succeed, you need to start listening to fans. Right? It's as simple as that. I'm not saying you should take everything that they say, but the one thing you should listen to them when all universally said it, Doctor Who has to go back to its roots.
Yeah,
it's as simple as that. You go back to its roots, you will have a successful show in your hands. And don't worry about chasing an audience. The audience will chase you. The audience will chase you. Like they did in 2005 when Russell came back, the audience chased that show and it became one of the most successful shows on TV at the time. And for 4 years, well, no, actually for 6-7 years maybe, the show was on top of its game. Right?
Yeah,
so you be proud of.
Once you've got a fan base, it's like people know a show I love a couple of years ago was Arcane. It was on Netflix. And I just looked at this out of interest after our stream last week when we guys were chatting afterwards. And they were premiering a trailer, the first trailer for the new season of Arcane on YouTube. So I saw it come up as like, it's going to happen on this date and this time. Literally the night before, there was 1K waiting for that trailer, and there was an absolute there was a live chat which was up already to go for this premiere was absolutely going like clappers, and that's how you know you're a success. If you can put a trailer date, a premiere date, and have 1K people just waiting technically the night before. Doctor Who can't do that. That shows you power and how intense and how attentive your audience is.
Yeah.
Doctor Who has become a passive audience now.
Yeah.
Except for the diehards like us.
Yeah. I mean, you also got to remember, look at BBC at the moment. BBC, the major channel, not studios. BBC 1 to whatever, to 4 and everything else. They are hemorrhaging flagship shows. They've lost Top Gear. EastEnders is trashy. Strictly is in trouble now. And every other show's died. The BBC Studios can't sell it anymore. They just killed all their kind of 3 or 4 top brand shows.
And the more you look at iPlayer,
on EastEnders, they keep trying to sort of bring back those characters. They brought back characters from like 19 years ago. They're bringing back another character. They keep bringing back old characters in a sort of attempt to get people talking again.
Yeah. 86 million on location set, and they want to move it to Birmingham. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, and if you look at the iPlayer, more and more they are importing shows. They are buying shows.
Totally now.
Yeah, but look, eventually I reckon what iPlayer is doing, I think BBC are really going to go for this whole streaming platform business like Netflix in a couple of years' time. And I think what will happen is Doctor Who won't end up on BBC anymore. It will be available to live stream. And what will probably happen is I don't know how they'll do it, whether they'll still drop the episode each week on live stream or whether it'll be the binge watch model. But You know, we've seen it because they know the license fee is going to be redundant in a couple of years. So they're going to have to make money. And this streaming thing is the only way forward. So Doctor Who will end up on, trust me, because it's one of their biggest brands. EastEnders will as well. But the problem that they're going to have is the quality of those shows are absolutely dire right now. I mean, the Jewel of the Nile, you know, the Jewel was Top Gear, Doctor Who, and EastEnders. They were the three top shows on BBC that always drew in nearly 10, 11 million viewers.
That's the one.
It doesn't happen anymore, right? I think EastEnders is down under 2 million now.
And they've not had like a really big drama for years. They've not had a line of duty. They've not had a bodyguard. They've not sort of everybody's talking about it drama.
It's just
Actually, I have to watch that now. Thanks for reminding me. I have to watch actually Line of Duty and The Bodyguard. There were two shows that I haven't watched now, but obviously I watched them on the streaming thing that I have. But I'll watch that because you know, everybody keeps bleeding talking about it. I know you and Daniel did some streams on it, and it seemed to be very popular. So I'm gonna probably watch it myself. There's a couple of shows now I'm catching up with as well. I've got this new app. It's fucking deadly, man.
But that's my point. Every couple of years, they had a big drama to also keep them sort of afloat. That's dried up as well.
Yeah, they got the Traitors as well, but that's a subcon from I think all three media.
I do like the Traitors though. I will say, look, the Traitors and Gladiators, I should say. Look, I wasn't expecting too much hope on Gladiators. And listen, some of the contestants on it were fucking wokey, lefty, nutballs. But the bottom line is, it was about the Gladiators, like, and the contestants. It was still a good show. It reminded me of my childhood. And you know what? I didn't mind fucking Bradley Walsh and his son hosting it. I think they did a good job. So you know what? BBC can show that they can still fucking do it though. And that is why we should be angry at the BBC.
Yeah.
Because they actually put their heart and soul into something that means something, they produce. They do. They always have. BBC used to be at one time, Charlotte would agree with everybody on the panel. When it came to comedy drama, they were the top.
Oh, they were the best at comedy as well, but they've killed their own comedy. We haven't got Little Britain, we haven't got...
Obviously, Channel 4 came to prominence within the years. You know, you had the E4 as well, you had Phone Jacker and all of that other stuff, which was deadly, like. But BBC were always the top dog for highbrow comedy, as they used to call it, and lowbrow stuff as well. Fucking brilliant.
Channel 4's got its last leg, and that's quite woke. And I'm like, oh god, I watched it for 10 minutes the other day. I thought, oh god, get me out of here.
Yeah.
They've lost.
Anyway, look. We'll go on, finish our point, PD, because I'm going to wrap up.
I think they're generalists. Why I'm very much a huge supporter of comedy gigs, and I've literally, you know, I've had comedians ask me, "Oh, can you run my tech?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure," because I think comedy is an open stage. But the problem is, comedy is on BBC and Channel 4, sorry, not ITV, has died a death.
Yeah,
it really has, and I think it's such a bloody shame. This is why I do watch the comedians on GB News. It's one of the only places that shows the comedians now.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous. I mean, it's got comedy in the UK is going underground. A lot of it's going underground, and a lot of my friends who are on the fringe circuit will tell you that.
Anyway, look, we'll touch on this topic again. I'm pretty sure I will be back tomorrow though, because I wasn't here on Tuesday, as you know, because Cheryl was packing and stuff like that. She's just had to send me a message there. She's just had to land in New York, safe. So you know that's a weight off my shoulders. I hate when she's on the plane for fucking hours. But she's in New York now, so it's a pity because the portal was in New York, and the plan is when she got to New York, I'd go into the city center and say hello to her, like. But they moved the portal from New York to a different location. We still have it in Dublin, but I think it's in Belarus now or something. Fucking hell. God. Anyway, we leave it there. He's because I want to ring her and Teddy, you know, so he knows that she's still a fucking alive. But we'll do channel. But I will be back tomorrow because I didn't do the stream on Tuesday. So I'll come back tomorrow. Probably be an afternoon stream. Hopefully, Cinnamon is able to join me for that one. I didn't listen to your voice message because my phone went dead. So I'll listen to it. You probably already told me you can do it, but I don't know. But
I can't post the stream at the moment. I don't know why.
But if anybody else is available tomorrow, you're more than welcome to come on and join us. Like, you know what I mean? But it's just because I didn't do a stream on Tuesday. So I said if I miss a stream, I will make up for it. So don't worry about that. I want to keep that promise. Like, so I'll make up for it. And then we'll have our membership stream when we normally have our membership stream. But this topic is going to roll on, I reckon, for a couple of weeks. Well, this topic is going to roll on until confirmation of what's happening with season 3. Now, I will say this. The speculation on Millie Gibson, in my opinion, the way the media and fans acted during that time was an absolute disgrace. To be honest, some of the stuff that was written about her, let's be honest, was fucking horrible as well. You know, she's a young one, and people, you know, even the other day, you know, the headline from The Sun, you know, she wore a revealing green top, right? And that was the big headline, Doctor Who News. Like, that was the big headline. She changed her top. Big fucking deal. Leave her alone. You know what I mean? She's a fucking 20-odd-year-old. You know, let her fucking enjoy her life. She's doing a hard day's work as well, acting. Like, you know what I mean? It is tough business. You know what I mean? And she's in it. And hopefully she has the right people around her, which it looks like she does. But I fear this is going to happen with Ncuti as well. And I just say to people, you know, just take a step back. Let's wait and see what happens. At the end of the day, do I think he deserves to be fired or should be fired? I will say no. I don't think he's the biggest problem. I still see something in him that will convince, if he was given the right direction and played it the way he wanted to play it, then I think, see, again, we got another actor, just like we did with Jodie. We'll never know Jodie's true potential, right?
No,
because
not
he was handicapped by fucking Chris Chibnall. And it's going to be the same with Ncuti Gatwa, right? Because of RTD. Okay. And I just think it's an absolute disgrace. And that decision has been made. And I haven't been told that. And all I've been told is it's the way I've said it already. There's no chain, no nothing. If there is, I'll let you know. But in fairness, he isn't the one that should be sacrificed here. We all know who should be gone. Anyway, I'll leave it there. I'll get everybody to do their channel shout out. So I will start off with Queen Charlotte, of course.
Yeah, so quite excited. Tomorrow night on Type 40 Live, we are doing our big sort of special stream on school reunion. So come and join us when we're going back onto that episode where Sarah Jane came back into the show. We got K9. So we're just sort of having a complete, utter, just special concentrated stream on that episode, and we've sort of all been wanting to do this one for ages. A lot of people have asked because we've done classic sort of episode focus streams. This is our first New Who, so I'm quite excited and looking forward to that. And then keep your eye out for podcast. Dan's just released some of the footage and some of the interviews he got from Hooverville. There's more to come there, but he started to put some of it together, so if you want to see that. And then you'll catch me here on Wednesdays when we talk about rumours and whatever's going on with Doctor Who.
Yeah, which you know, there'll be plenty now because of all of this, which is fucking brilliant for us. But still not so brilliant for the actor involved. Let's hope this is resolved ASAP. Look, you know, if the decision's made either way, just come out and make the fucking decision now. Get it done and over with. We don't have to wait till 2025. Just get it done. So at least we know where we stand then, and everybody can move on. And you know, then Ncuti won't be hounded for these next couple of months on whether he's staying or he's going and having to address the rumours. Nobody should. You know, I will say this before I head on to PD there. You know, BBC and Disney and Padwood Studios have a responsibility to protect our actors and actresses. And I don't think RTD has actually done that or Bad Wolf in relation to Millie Gibson. So let's hope they've learned their lessons from that and actually protect our actor here this time around, instead of letting the rumours manifest and then literally putting pressure on the young one, you know, like they did with Millie. Absolutely disgraceful. PD, anyway, go ahead. Channel shout outs.
Yeah, well, you'll catch me. Why not catch me on Rabbi so much the next few weeks because I'm busy operating a play and sound designing for it. So, but you'll see me there in the future. So I'll be back. I've got to tell Rabbi. I kept forgetting to tell him. Anyway.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Cinnamon.
Yeah, I've got something going. I've started a playthrough, not a walkthrough, a playthrough of Red Dead Redemption 1. I've just done the first 2 streams, about an hour long. Don't do them too long because otherwise people just won't watch it. So yeah,
hang on, you've done Red Dead Redemption streams and you never told me.
I guess
never told me.
I did post about. I did post and tweet about them, so it was there to be found, I suppose.
You never get the
Didn't
last
tell
minute
me.
on the channel. Never get it till the last minute on YouTube. It's YouTube's fault.
I'm not even getting notifications. Then that's the issue.
I just stumbled across one of Dan's live streams the other day, and I'm like, "Geez, I wasn't going to even get a bloody notification for it."
Dan has been doing a couple during the day, maybe.
Yeah, the chill streams.
So
yeah,
they're not his usual slots. That could be why. I'm just.
yeah.
Anyway, yeah, go on, continue. Yeah, so you're doing Red Dead Redemption streams. What else have you got coming?
Well, it's just that at the moment. There's no, because I typically prefer those that don't have comments. I don't know. I find it annoying when you've got some bloke talking over it. I think it depends, but I don't know. If people want it, then I suppose I can. But I don't know, I just find it more immersive. But anyway, yeah. So I've got that currently going. I suppose, like I say, I've got more things in the collection that I could talk about and show off. I really want to get a camera stand to really help show off the items. Otherwise, I'm just filming it with my hand and it just looks awkward. And I can't turn the pages properly. It took me about 5 minutes to close the book last time because it had a sleeve thing on it. But yeah, so if you're interested in watching, again, it's a bit different content. I got a comment from, I think, Paul, who said, isn't it funny? This is more engaging than anything that we're getting now. I went, yeah, that's Rockstar Games for you. They're not perfect company when it comes to some of their models, but when it comes to the writing, they're damn good at it. But yeah, so if you're interested in that, feel free to come over. I think I'll be doing it tonight. Play a little bit of Call of Duty first, but then I'll get on it.
How much was Red Dead Redemption?
You don't have to watch it live. You can watch it as a video. It'll go up anyway.
How much did Red just before we finished?
I've got them both on the Xbox, but then it was. Well, I got it as part of a pack again. I've already got it on the Xbox, so I stupidly bought it again because I wanted it on the PlayStation. Because you can actually stream from the PlayStation directly. You don't even need a fancy setup or anything. So I got it on a sale. It was about 40-something quid for both of them.
Yeah, the two of them. Yeah, you can get Red Dead Redemption online as well. I seen that. Yeah, I was gonna get it, but Cheryl said, like, you know, yeah, you've gotten enough for your PlayStation. Like, you know, you've already got the second game. You know, why you can't buy the first and the second game again? Which she was right. You know what I mean? I'd have to just buy the first game. But anyway, folks, listen, I've actually gone over time, but I'm going to say goodnight. I'm going to say goodnight to be panelists right here and now because I literally am flying off just doing this trailer. So I just want to say goodnight to you now. To everybody in the chat for joining us, I really appreciate it. As I said, I will be back tomorrow. And Cinnamon, I think, is joining me. You are joining me, aren't you?
Yep. I've started an induction, but even when I start work properly, it'll be day shifts. So again, there will be no more. Hopefully, there should be no more. Well, I say hopefully, I can almost guarantee it. There'll be no more times where I can't do streams. Where what would happen before. Sometimes I'd actually have to do a stream while I was at work, or sometimes I'd have to miss days altogether because of the clash. But yeah, now I finish either 3 or 4, so plenty of time to come back and start at 6 or 7 here. So yeah,
Fantastic. Fantastic. Right, guys, I will leave it there. Thank you for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Yeah, it's gonna have ring the missus now and see how she got on. You know, long flights and all of that. You know, and she did have to fly out on September 11th, didn't she? Like, you know,
Oh,
of
yeah.
all
She picked the
fucking
right
days.
date, didn't she?
Just
Of
to help
all
with
days
your
to fly to even New York, September 11th. I was like, are you really trying to tempt fate? Like, go to New York, September 11th on an airplane. Are you are you out of your
Glad it's
head?
not 2021.
Anyway, yeah.
I watched
26.
as well. Started binging on the movies.
Yeah, the 9/11 movies. Yeah, there's plenty. Anyway, listen, again, you know, 23 years ago that happened. World changed completely and
Oh,
got a
yeah.
bit colder, in my opinion. But we'll never forget that day, and we'll never forget those victims. And no matter what anybody says in America right now or the world, that was the most horrific thing to happen. Not in only world history, but in American history. It's up there with Pearl Harbor and all. To say January 6th came anywhere near this, you're disrespecting those people that died on that day. It was a truly horrific day. I remember where I was. Everybody remembers where they were. But I just want to end this straight. Life is American. I just want to end it by saying, you know, those victims will never be forgotten, and may the families get the justice that they're still seeking to this day, and may they all rest in peace. Good night, everybody.
No.
Right.